Okay. Bismillah, go on.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم إنما النسيء زيادة في الكفر يضل به الذين كفروا يحلونه عاما ويحرمونه عاما ليواطئوا عدة ما حرم الله فيحلوا ما حرم الله زين لهم سوء أعمالهم والله لا يهدي القوم الكافرين.
I seek refuge with Allah from Satan the accursed. The postponing of a sacred month is indeed an addition to disbelief. Thereby the disbelievers are led astray, for they make it lawful 1 year and forbid it another year, in order to adjust the number of months forbidden by Allah, and they make lawful what Allah has forbidden. The evil of their deeds is made fair-seeming to them, and Allah guides not the people who disbelieve.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا ما لكم إذا قيل لكم انفروا في سبيل الله اثاقلتم إلى الأرض أرضيتم بالحياة الدنيا من الآخرة فما متاع الحياة الدنيا في الآخرة إلا قليل.
O you who believe, what is the matter with you that when you are asked to march forth in the cause of Allah, you cling heavily to the earth? Are you pleased with the life of this world rather than the hereafter? But little is the enjoyment of the life of this world as compared to the hereafter.
إلا تنفروا يعذبكم عذابا أليما ويستبدل قوما غيركم ولا تضروه شيئا والله على كل شيء قدير.
If you march not forth, he will punish you with a painful torment and will replace you by another people, and you cannot harm him at all, and Allah is able to do all things.
إلا تنصروه فقد نصره الله إذ أخرجه الذين كفروا ثاني اثنين إذ هما في الغار إذ يقول لصاحبه لا تحزن إن الله معنا فأنزل الله سكينته عليه وأيده بجنود لم تروها وجعل كلمة الذين كفروا السفلى وكلمة الله هي العليا والله عزيز حكيم.
If you help him, Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, it does not matter, for Allah did indeed help him when the disbelievers drove him out. For the second of two, when they, Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, and Abu Bakr, may Allah be pleased with him, were in the cave, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said to his companion, "Be not sad, nor afraid. Surely Allah is with us." Then Allah sent down his tranquility and peace upon him, and strengthened him with forces which you saw not, and made the word of those who disbelieved the lowermost, while the word of Allah became the uppermost. And Allah is Almighty, All-Wise.
انفروا خفافا وثقالا وجاهدوا بأموالكم وأنفسكم في سبيل الله ذلكم خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون.
March forth, whether you are light, being healthy, young and wealthy, or heavy, being old, poor and ill, and strive hard with your wealth and your lives in the cause of Allah. This is better for you, if you but know.
لو كان عرضا قريبا وسفرا قاصدا لاتبعوك ولكن بعدت عليهم الشقة وسيحلفون بالله لو استطعنا لخرجنا معكم يهلكون أنفسهم والله يعلم إنهم لكاذبون.
Had it been an easy gain and an easy journey, they would have followed you. But the distance was long for them, and they would swear by Allah, if we only could, we would certainly have come forth with you. They destroy their own selves, and Allah knows that they are liars.
عفى الله عنك لما أذنت لهم حتى يتبين لك الذين صدقوا وتعلم الكاذبين.
May Allah forgive you, O Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. Why did you grant them leave for remaining behind until those who told the truth were seen by you in a clear light, and you had known the liars?
لا يستأذنك الذين يؤمنون بالله واليوم الآخر أن يجاهدوا بأموالهم وأنفسهم والله عليم بالمتقين.
Those who believe in Allah and the last day would not ask your leave to be exempted from fighting with their properties and their wealth and their lives. And Allah is the all-knower of the pious.
إنما يستأذنك الذين لا يؤمنون بالله واليوم الآخر وارتابت قلوبهم فهم في ريبهم يترددون.
It is only those who believe not in Allah and the last day, and whose hearts are in doubt, that ask your leave to be exempted. So in their doubts they waver.
ولو أرادوا الخروج لأعدوا له عدة ولكن كره الله بعاثهم فثبطهم وقيل اقعدوا مع القاعدين.
And if they had intended to march out, certainly they would have made some preparation for it. But Allah was averse to their being sent forth, so He made them lag behind. And it was said to them, sit you among those who sit at home.
لو خرجوا فيكم ما زادوكم إلا خبالا ولأوضعوا خلالكم يبغونكم الفتنة وفيكم سماعون لهم والله عليم بالظالمين.
Had they marched out with you, they would have added you to nothing except disorder, and they would have hurried about in your midst, spreading corruption and sowing sedition amongst you. And there are some among you who would have listened to them, and Allah is all-knower of the polytheists and wrongdoers.
لقد ابتغوا الفتنة من قبل وقلبوا لك الأمور حتى جاء الحق وظهر أمر الله وهم كارهون.
Verily, they had plotted sedition before and had upset matters for you until the truth came out and the decree of Allah became manifest, though they hated it.
ومنهم من يقول ائذن لي ولا تفتني ألا في الفتنة سقطوا وإن جهنم لمحيطة بالكافرين.
And among them is he who says, grant me leave to be exempted from jihad, and put me not into trial. Surely they have fallen into trial, and verily hell is surrounding the disbelievers.
إن تصبك حسنة تسؤهم وإن تصبك مصيبة يقولوا قد أخذنا أمرنا من قبل ويتولوا وهم فرحون.
If good befalls you, O Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, it grieves them. But if a calamity overtakes you, they say, we took our precaution beforehand, and they turn away rejoicing.
قل لن يصيبنا إلا ما كتب الله لنا هو مولانا وعلى الله فليتوكل المؤمنون.
Say, nothing shall ever happen to us except what Allah has ordained for us. He is our Lord, patron and protector, and in Allah let the believers put their trust.
قل هل تربصون بنا إلا إحدى الحسنيين ونحن نتربص بكم أن يصيبكم الله بعذاب من عنده أو بأيدينا فتربصوا إنا معكم متربصون.
Say, do you wait for us? Do you wait for us anything except one of the two best things? Do you wait for martyrdom or victory, while we await for you either that Allah will afflict you with a punishment from himself or at our hands? So wait, we too are waiting with you.
قل أنفقوا طوعا أو كرها لن يتقبل منكم إنكم كنتم قوما فاسقين.
Say, spend in Allah's cause, willingly or unwillingly. It will never be accepted from you. Verily, you are ever a people who are rebellious and disobedient to Allah.
وما منعهم أن تقبل منهم نفقاتهم إلا أنهم كفروا بالله وبرسوله ولا يأتون الصلاة إلا وهم كسالى ولا ينفقون إلا وهم كارهون.
And nothing prevents their contributions from being accepted from them, except that they disbelieved in Allah and in His Messenger Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, and that they came not to the prayer except in a lazy state, and that they offer not contributions but unwillingly.
فلا تعجبك أموالهم ولا أولادهم إنما يريد الله ليعذبهم بها في الحياة الدنيا وتزهق أنفسهم وهم كافرون.
So let not their wealth nor their children amaze you, O Muhammad. Peace and blessings be upon him. In reality, Allah's plan is to punish them with these things of the life of this world, and that their souls shall depart while they are disbelievers.
ويحلفون بالله إنهم لمنكم وما هم منكم ولكنهم قوم يفرقون.
They swear by Allah that they are truly of you. They swear by Allah that they are truly of you, while they are not of you. But they are a people, hypocrites, who are afraid.
لو يجدون ملجأ أو مغارات أو مدخلا لولوا إليه وهم يجمحون.
Should they find a refuge or caves or a place of concealment, they would turn straight away thereto with a swift rush.
ومنهم من يلمزك في الصدقات فإن أعطوا منها رضوا وإن لم يعطوا منها إذا هم يسخطون.
And of them are some who accuse you, O Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, in the matter of the distribution of charity. If they are given part thereof, they are pleased, but if they are not given thereof, behold, they are enraged.
ولو أنهم رضوا ما آتاهم الله ورسوله وقالوا حسبنا الله سيؤتينا الله من فضله ورسوله إنا إلى الله راغبون.
Would that they were content with what Allah and His Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, gave them, and had said, Allah is sufficient for us. Allah will give us of His bounty, and so will His Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. We implore Allah to enrich us.
إنما الصدقات للفقراء والمساكين والعاملين عليها والمؤلفة قلوبهم وفي الرقاب وفي الرقاب والغارمين وفي سبيل الله وابن السبيل فريضة من الله والله عليم حكيم.
The obligatory charity is only for the poor and the destitute, and those employed to collect the funds and to attract the hearts of those who have been inclined towards Islam, and to free the captives, and for those in debt, and for Allah's cause, those fighting in battle, and for the wayfarer, the traveller who is cut off from everything, a duty imposed by Allah, and Allah is all-knower, all-wise.
ومنهم الذين يؤذون النبي ويقولون هو أذن قل أذن خير لكم يؤمن بالله ويؤمن للمؤمنين ورحمة للذين آمنوا منكم والذين يؤذون رسول الله لهم عذاب أليم.
And among them are men who annoy the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and say, he is lending his ear to every news. Say, he listens to what is best for you. He believes in Allah, has faith in the believers, and is a mercy to those of you who believe. But those who annoy Allah's Messenger, Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, will have a painful torment.
يحلفون بالله لكم ليرضوكم والله ورسوله أحق أن يرضوه إن كانوا مؤمنين.
They swear by Allah to you Muslims in order to please you, but it is more fitting that they should please Allah and His Messenger Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, if they are believers.
ألم يعلموا أنه من يحادد الله ورسوله فأن له نار جهنم خالدا فيها ذلك الخزي العظيم.
Know they not that whoever opposes and shows hostility to Allah and His Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, certainly for them will be the fire of hell, to abide therein. That is the extreme disgrace.
يحذر المنافقون أن تنزل عليهم سورة تنبئهم بما في قلوبهم قل استهزئوا إن الله مخرج ما تحذرون.
The hypocrites fear lest a chapter of the Qur'an should be revealed about them, showing them what is in their hearts. Say, go ahead and mock, but certainly Allah will bring to light all that you fear.
ولئن سألتهم ليقولن إنما كنا نخوض ونلعب قل أبالله وآياته ورسوله كنتم تستهزئون.
If you ask them about this, they declare, we were only talking idly and joking. Say, was it Allah the Most High and His verses, evidences and proofs, and His Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, that you are mocking?
لا تعتذروا قد كفرتم بعد إيمانكم إن نعف عن طائفة منكم نعذب طائفة بأنهم كانوا مجرمين.
Make no excuse. You disbelieved after you had believed. If we pardon some of you, we will punish others amongst you because they were criminals, sinful, and disbelievers.
المنافقون والمنافقات بعضهم من بعض يأمرون بالمنكر وينهون عن المعروف ويقبضون أيديهم نسوا الله فنسيهم إن المنافقين هم الفاسقون.
The hypocrites, men and women, are one from another. They enjoin on the people disbelief and polytheism, and all kinds of things that Islam has forbidden, and forbid people from Islamic monotheism, and all that Islam orders one to do. And they close their hands from giving and spending in the way of Allah. They have forgotten Allah, so He has forgotten them. Verily, the hypocrites are the rebellious, disobedient to Allah.
وعد الله المنافقين والمنافقات والكفار نار جهنم خالدين فيها هي حسبهم ولعنهم الله ولهم عذاب مقيم.
Allah has promised the hypocrites, men and women, and the disbelievers the fire of hell. Therein they shall abide. It will suffice them. Allah has cursed them, and for them is the lasting torment.
كالذين من قبلكم كانوا أشد منكم قوة وأكثر أموالا وأولادا فاستمتعوا بخلاقهم فاستمتعتم بخلاقكم كما استمتع الذين من قبلكم بخلاقهم وخضتم كالذي خاضوا أولئك حبطت أعمالهم في الدنيا والآخرة وأولئك هم الخاسرون.
Like those before you, they were mightier than you in power, and more abundant in wealth and children. They had enjoyed their portion a while, so enjoy your portion a while, as those before you enjoyed their portion, and you indulged in play and pastime, and in telling lies against Allah and His Messenger. Peace and blessings be upon him, as they indulged in play and pastime. Such are they whose deeds are in vain in this world and in the hereafter. Such are they who are the losers.
جزاكم الله.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
عليكم السلام.
جزاكم الله خير شيخ زكريا، الله يحفظك ويبارك فيك، قراءة ماتعة، الله يجزاك خير ويزيدك من فضل. الشيخ الدكتور مقبل بن رشيد الحربي معنا إن شاء الله ويبدأنا. والله الصوت تقطع شيخ مقبل.
حياكم الله. السلام
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
You all guys hearing well?
Walaikum salam. I can't hear him. He needs to speak up.
No, الصوت منقطع شيخنا.
الآن
الآن ما شاء الله. طيب
الآن الحمد لله.
غيرنا الشبكة.
يلا بالتوفيق. إذا نترككم للمحاضرة حفظكم الله.
نعم شيخنا بارك الله فيكم. أحسن الله عز وجل إليكم. قبل ما نبدأ
نعم.
من أي باب نقرأ حتى أستعين بمختصر صحيح البخاري؟
كتاب الإيمان للإمام البخاري. صحيح البخاري كتاب الإيمان.
جميل.
أيوة باب المسلم من سلم المسلمون من لسانه ويده.
أي حفظكم الله شيخنا.
أول باب الذي بعده، في باب بعده أي الإسلام أفضل؟ أي الإسلام أفضل؟
جميل بارك الله فيكم شيخنا. حتى أستعين بالترجمة.
طيب نبدأ.
أي نعم على بركة الله. بسم الله. تفضل مشكور.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونتوب إليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهد الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. والصلاة والسلام على خاتم الأنبياء وسيد المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. بادئ ذي بدء أبدأ بالسلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته، وأهلا وسهلا بكم في هذه القراءة من صحيح البخاري من كتاب الإيمان في باب أي الإسلام أفضل.
In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most beneficent, and indeed all praises are due to Allah. We praise Him, we seek His aid, and we seek His forgiveness. We seek refuge with Allah from the evils of ourselves and the wickedness of our actions. Whomsoever Allah guides, there are none to misguide, and whomsoever Allah guides, there is none to misguide, and whomsoever Allah misguides, there are none to guide. And I bear witness that there is no deity worthy of worship except for Allah, and that Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, is his slave and messenger. To proceed, I welcome you all to tonight's lecture by giving you the greeting of peace be upon you, and I welcome you warmly to this lesson in this session, which is a reading and a study of the Book of Faith from the book of Imam al-Bukhari. And we are looking at the chapter heading, Whose Islam is Best. نعم شيخنا.
قال البخاري رحمه الله في صحيحه كتاب الإيمان باب أي الإسلام أفضل، ثم ذكر بسنده عن أبي بردة عن أبي موسى الأشعري رضي الله تعالى عنه قال قالوا يعني للنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قالوا يا رسول الله أي الإسلام أفضل؟ قال صلى الله عليه وسلم من سلم المسلمون من لسانه ويده. فهذا الحديث ذكره الإمام البخاري في كتاب الإيمان، ومعنى قوله أي الإسلام أفضل بمعنى أي ذوي الإسلام أفضل، لأن المسلمين كلهم يقومون بالشعائر الدينية ويقومون بالتوحيد، لكن يتفاضلون في الأعمال ويتفاضلون في الإسلام. فبين صلى الله عليه وسلم أن المسلم الأفضل عن غيره من المسلمين هو من سلم المسلمون من لسانه ويده، وسنأتي بشيء من التفصيل لمعنى هذا الحديث إن شاء الله تعالى.
So we look at the fourth chapter, chapter 4, whose Islam is the best, or who is the best Muslim. And Imam al-Bukhari, he mentions the chain of narration up till the narrator, Abu Musa, may Allah be pleased with him, who said, some people asked Allah's messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, whose Islam is best? And he replied, the one who avoids harming the Muslims with their tongue and with their hands. So here we see that the companions, they asked the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, about the best actions of Islam. And that's because if you look and you take note that the actions that the Muslims carry out are a great many. And these actions, they vary in terms of their respective benefits and their respective virtue. So here they were asking which ones are best. And the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, responded and said, the one who avoids harming the Muslims with their tongue and with their hands. And we'll look at some of the benefits and some of the meaning behind this narration in what comes.
فالبخاري هنا رحمه الله تعالى بوب في هذا الباب مبينا أي المسلمين أو ذوي الإسلام أفضل، ولهذا نجد أن الإمام مسلم رحمه الله تعالى قد روى هذا الحديث بلفظ أي المسلمين أفضل، أي المسلمين أفضل. لأن التفاضل يحصل بين المسلمين في قوة الإيمان وفي صلاح الأعمال وفي التمسك بهدي النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وطاعة الرحمن. فهذه الأمور يعني يتفاضل أو فيها تفاضل بين المسلمين. وقد بين النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في هذا الحديث خصالا مهمة سنأتي إليها إن شاء الله.
So Imam al-Bukhari, he puts the chapter heading above this narration, whose Islam is the best? And yes, and this is an explanation of this narration that we have mentioned. And this narration has also been reported by Imam Muslim with slightly different wording. And the wording of Imam Muslim's narration is, who from the Muslims is the best? And that's because we see that the Muslims are of varying degrees and varying levels and ranks, because you will find that some of them, there are varying levels in terms of their faith, there are varying levels in terms of their actions, there are varying levels in terms of their obedience to Allah and obedience to His Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. So here, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, he explains to us a really important characteristic that we will explain.
هذا الحديث أيضا أخرجه الإمام مسلم في صحيحه، وأخرجه أيضا عن عبد الله بن عمرو بن العاص رضي الله تعالى عنهما أن رجلا قال: يا رسول الله، أي الإسلام أفضل؟ قال: من سلم المسلمون من لسانه ويده. وهنا يتبين أن السائل كان أبي موسى الأشعري رضي الله تعالى عنه. في الحديث السابق قالوا: يا رسول الله، فإنه يعني قال ذلك السؤال بحضرة النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم، بحضرة الصحابة، فكأنه يعني قد وافقوه على سؤاله للنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم عن أي خصال الإسلام أفضل. نعم.
And as we have said, this narration has also been reported by Imam Muslim in his book, and it's been reported on the authority of Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As, may Allah be pleased with them, that an individual said or asked the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, whose Islam is best? And the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, responded and said, the one who avoids harming the Muslims with their tongue and with their hand. So here we explain one narration with the other, and it appears as though the questioner was Abu Musa, the narrator of the narration reported by Imam Bukhari, and this is this is one of the ways that we can understand further details about this narration.
فذكر صلى الله عليه وسلم أن أفضل المسلمين من سلم المسلمون من لسانه ويده. وفي بعض الروايات ورد من سلم الناس عموما، مسلمهم وكافرهم، أي من سلم من لسانه ويده. السلامة من اللسان تكون بالسلامة من الشتم واللعن والغيبة والبهتان والنميمة والسعي إلى من يضر ذلك الشخص من سلطان وغيره ونحو ذلك. يعني أذى اللسان يا شيخ عقيل يكون بالشتم،
أي نعم،
واللعن والغيبة والبهتان والنميمة. نعم
نعم نعم نعم، بارك الله فيكم شيخنا. So the best of the Muslims are those who avoid harming the Muslims with both their tongue and with their hands. And in some of the narrations, the wording is slightly different. In some of the narrations, the wording is one who avoids harming the people with their tongue and with their hands, rather than just the Muslims. So this includes this characteristic for the Muslims and for those who are not Muslim. And when the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, says that they avoid harming the people with their tongue, this means that the people are safe from the tongue of that individual, so that the individual is not likely or will not libel them or curse them or lie about them or tell tales about them or backbite them or slander them. Any of these things the individual will not do.
فخص بالذكر اللسان واليد هنا، والمراد بالسلامة هنا هو السلامة من شرهما دون باقي الأعضاء، لأن أكثر الإيذاء يكون باليد واللسان، وإن كان بغيرهما أيضا محرما، فالمسلم لا يؤذي الناس بيده، فلا يضربهم أو يقتلهم، بل يجب أن يعينهم على الخير وأن يتعاون معهم على الخير، ولا يعمل إلا خيرا، ولا يؤذي الناس بلسانه كما تقدم ذكر ذلك. وخص هذين العضوين اللسان واليد لأن أكثر الإيذاء بهما. نعم.
And the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, he specifically mentioned the tongue, the appendage of the tongue and the hands, because in a general sense, these are the appendages or the parts of the body through which an individual harms others for the most part. So if an individual is free from the evils and the harm that's brought about with these two things, then generally they are free of the evil of that individual. نعم شيخنا.
ومن صور الإيذاء باليد القتل والضرب والهدم والدفع والكتابة بالباطل، تكتب في يعني كتابة بالباطل. ومثل هذه الأشياء ينبغي للمسلم أن يسلم الناس ويسلم المسلمون من لسانه ويده، يعني من إيذائه وافترائه وظلمه. نعم.
And the examples of the evil that can come about through an individual's hand is, for example, killing someone else or beating someone or writing about them in a disparaging way or oppressing them forcefully, and all of these things. And these are things that the Muslim should be free from, and they should not harm the people in this respect.
لأن الإنسان سيحاسب على هذه الأعمال وهذه الأفعال التي يعني ينتهجها في إيذاء إخوانه المسلمين. وقد ذكر النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في غير ما حديث أن الإنسان يأتي يوم القيامة بحسنات كجبال تهامة بيضاء، ولكنه ضرب هذا وشتم هذا وأخذ مال هذا واغتاب هذا، فيوم القيامة لا يكون القصاص إلا بالحسنات، فيؤخذ من حسناته إليهم، حتى إذا فنيت حسناته أخذ من سيئاتهم فوضعت عليه فكب في النار عياذا بالله. نعم.
And and the individual, they should pay particular attention to not harming others with these appendages, because they will be held accountable for these actions and what they do in the hereafter. And the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, has mentioned that an individual will come on the day of reckoning, and they'll come with a great deal of good deeds. However, there were an individual who beat this one, and they cursed that one, and they took the rights of the other one. So that on the day of reckoning, when this is judged, and on that day, the judgments will be given and will be settled through good deeds. These individuals that the person has wronged, they will take from his good deeds until there will be no good deeds left. And when there is nothing left to take, the people will offload their evil deeds onto them. So they will be left without good deeds, but they will be left with additional evil deeds and wicked deeds, to the extent that they will be thrown into the fire, and we seek refuge with Allah, the Most High.
قد نطرح سؤالا في هذا الباب: هل الإيذاء المنهي عنه خاص بالمسلمين فقط دون غيرهم؟ يعني هل يجوز للمسلم أن ألا يسلم من لسانه ويده غير المسلم؟ الجواب لا. وقد ورد في بعض ألفاظ الحديث: من سلم الناس من لسانه، مؤمنهم وكافرهم.
And here a question may arise and may be asked: is it okay then for the Muslim, if they refrain from harming the Muslims with their tongue and with their hands, is it then permissible or acceptable for them to harm others, i.e. the non-Muslims, with their hands and with their tongue? And as we have indicated before, this is something that's not correct, and it's not permissible due to the wording, and it's expressly stated in the wording of some of the narrations of this narration, that the Muslim is the one who avoids harming the people with their tongue and their hands in a general sense.
وقد ورد يعني الحث على الجوار، وحث الإسلام على الجار سواء كان مؤمنا أو كافرا، وإعطاء الحقوق لأهلها مسلمهم وكافر، ونهى الإسلام عن الاعتداء على الغير. فالإسلام هو السلام، وهو دين المحبة والوئام ودين العدالة. فالإسلام ليس فيه ظلم للآخرين أو أن فيه تسويغ للاعتداء عليهم أو أخذ أموالهم أو استحلال محارمهم وحرماتهم. فالإسلام أمره عظيم. نعم.
And we see that Islam, it encourages the believers to do good and to extend goodness to their neighbors, irrespective of their faith. And it encourages to visit others in a good way, again, irrespective of their faith, and to give the people their due right. Islam, in its truest sense, it's peace, and it's a religion of love, and it's a religion of giving due right and giving justice to everyone. It doesn't encourage and it doesn't promote oppression to any people or oppression upon any minority. It doesn't encourage to take people's rights or to take their wealth, because these are all things that have importance in al-Islam.
ولهذا قد وردت بعض الأحاديث التي تحرم إيذاء غير المسلمين أو أخذ أموالهم أو انتقاصهم. منها ما رواه أبو داود في سننه عن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه قال: من ظلم معاهدا أو انتقصه، يعني غير المسلم الذي دخل إلى بلاد الإسلام بعهد وذمة، أو انتقصه أو كلفه فوق طاقته أو أخذ منه شيئا بغير طيب نفس، فأنا حجيجه يوم القيامة. يعني النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام يوم القيامة يدافع عن هذا الذمي الذي ظلم، فمن كان حجيجه النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يوم القيامة كان منتصرا بلا شك. نعم.
Subhanallah. And there are a number of narrations of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, that corroborate this, and in actual fact they deem it impermissible for the Muslim to transgress against the non-Muslim, transgress against them by, for example, taking their right or taking their wealth or other than this. And it's been reported in the book collected by Abu Dawood that the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, whosoever oppresses a non-Muslim who has an agreement with us, whosoever oppresses them or detracts from their right or burdens them more than they should be burdened, or takes from them something without right, then I will be against them. I will be a debater, or I will argue against them on the day of resurrection.
وكما أمر الإسلام بالبعد عن إيذاء الناس أو انتقاصهم أو النيل منهم ظلما وعدوانا، فإن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم نهى عن الظلم، وقال كما في الحديث الذي رواه مسلم في صحيحه: إن الظلم ظلمات يوم القيامة. وقد بين الله عز وجل في كتابه الكريم منهجا آخر مهما، وهو أن الإنسان يجب عليه الصبر ويجب عليه التحمل لقاء ما عند الله عز وجل. لهذا قال تعالى: وسارعوا إلى مغفرة من ربكم وجنة عرضها السماوات والأرض أعدت للمتقين. ما هي أوصافهم؟ الذين ينفقون في السراء والضراء والكاظمين الغيظ، يكظم غيظه يصبر، والكاظمين الغيظ والعافين عن الناس والله يحب المحسنين. فيجب على الإنسان أن يصبر، ولهذا أمرنا في صيامنا إن شتمنا أحد أو سبنا يجب على المسلم يقول: إني صائم، لا يجاري ذلك الساب ولا الشاتم في منهجه وطريقته، بل عليه يسكت ويتحمل ذلك ليؤجر الأجر العظيم من الله تبارك وتعالى.
And it's also been reported, or Islam, it orders people to be very conscious of oppressing others, and it's forbidden this. It's forbidden the Muslims from oppressing others, and we can see this in many places, and it's been reported by Imam Muslim in an authentic narration where the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, he said, indeed, oppression is multiplied. It's oppressions on the day of resurrection, meaning that it's multiplied and it's greater. So if an individual oppresses in the life of this world, that will be multiplied, and it will be much more serious in the hereafter, i.e. they'll be taken into account even more. And for this reason, it's obligatory to have patience, and Islam promotes to have patience in the face of adversity, and in the face of these calamities that befit them. And Allah says, the Most High, and march forth in the way of Allah, that which leads to forgiveness from your Lord and for paradise as wide as the heavens and the earth, a paradise that's been prepared for the pious, those who spend in Allah's cause, in prosperity and in adversity, those who repress their anger and who pardon men. Verily, Allah loves the do-gooders. So here we are told the characteristics of the pious and the characteristics of those who march forth for paradise and for whom paradise has been prepared, that they spend in Allah's cause in both when they have wealth and when they do not have wealth, and they repress anger and they pardon others. And for this reason, when we are fasting and an individual curses us or argues with us, we put this patience into practice, and we say, as the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, ordered us to say, indeed, I am fasting. We do not reciprocate foul speech with foul speech, but we say this, and we bear patience upon what the individual has said or what has happened, and we expect and we wait for the reward from Allah, the Most High.
هذا ما اتسع الوقت لذكره، وأسأل الله عز وجل أن يسلمنا من شرور ألسنتنا وأيدينا، وأن يتقبل منا جميعا الصيام والقيام، وأن يجعلنا ممن صام رمضان وقامه إيمانا واحتسابا. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا.
حفظكم الله شيخنا الكريم، وجزاكم عنا وعن المسلمين خيرا فيما تفضلتم به من شرح واف وبيان كاف، جزاكم الله خيرا. ونذكر الإخوة بأن لقاء الغد سيكون مع فضيلة الدكتور صالح الزبيدي مع موضوع السبع الموبقات. Tomorrow, inshallah, our guest speaker is Dr. Salih al-Zubaydi, and he's going to speak about the hadith of the 7 major sins. جزاكم الله خير شيخنا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
جزاك الله خيرا Sheikh Mukbil. Nice to see you again. And alhamdulillah.
عاد ما تحتاجون مترجم انتم.
والله محتاج يا شيخ.
لا خليك زي الشيخ عبد السلام، قول له كويسيشن.
الشيخ عبد السلام عجيب.
ايه ما شاء الله انجليزي عنده رهيب.
جزاكم الله خير جميعا.
الله يحفظكم
وياكم شيخنا.
السلام عليكم ورحمة
الله. وعليكم السلام. Akil, you want to translate?
Yeah, if I just so our Sheikh Mukbil, he ended tonight's lecture by making a wonderful prayer for us, and he said, I ask Allah the Most High to allow us to refrain from the evils of our hands and our tongues, so that we do not harm others by them, just as I ask him to make us from those who stand Ramadan and fast Ramadan out of faith and seeking Allah's reward, and to accept from us the righteous actions that we put forward in this month. And may Allah send and shower peace and blessings and salutations upon the Prophet Muhammad and upon his family and companions and those who follow them to the day of resurrection. Barakallahu feekum Shaykhana. Athabakum Allah. Mathi jiddan.
And Sheikh Badr and Tom, Akil, Jazakallah khairan. We'll see each other again tomorrow, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Inshallah.